Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, today I have a couple of terrifying stories. One, this man encounters this red-eyed, black, shadowy being on his roof of the garage in his backyard, folks. And another, this man is terrified that he's going, or basically has encountered Bigfoot. Let's get into the first article. It stared back at me the night a red-eyed entity stood on my garage roof. Let's get into the account now. While tinkering in his ham shack one quiet night, a Southern California man heard strange footsteps crunching across his garage roof. What he discovered under the beam of his flashlight, a towering, red-eyed figure unlike anything human, left him shaken and still searching for answers. Not bad, folks. I live in Southern California, just north of San Diego. Here's my story, and I'll try to keep it brief. In a previous house I rented, I had a separate garage where I operated a ham shack and set up a workbench for assembling printed circuit boards. I spent many evenings in that shed, and nothing unusual ever happened except for listening to the radio. So far, folks, this story is giving me creepy vibes already, but let's get back to it. One night, while I was working on a circuit board, I started hearing a crunching sound on the garage roof, like someone with a heavy weight was walking on it. Given that I had set up several antennas on the roof for different frequencies, I wondered if one of my antennas was making noise, or if someone was up there doing something to them. I immediately grabbed my mag light, one of those big flashlights, and walked outside to the back of the garage to shine the light up onto the roof. What I saw was incredible and still freaks me out to this day. I can't fully understand what I witnessed. It appeared to be a tall black figure, at least 6.5 feet tall. It looked like a person, but wasn't quite human. It had reddish eyes and just stood there staring back at me. I thought to myself that this must be someone in disguise. Then I made up my mind to catch this figure because I wasn't going to allow it to stay on my roof. It stood frozen for a moment, just staring at me. Then it turned to the left and walked towards the edge of the roof, hopping off easily. The jump looked effortless, and I could hear it hit the ground. I rushed to the front of the garage, but by the time I got there, it was gone, nowhere to be found. There were no footprints, nothing at all left behind. I still can't explain what it was. It was something I've never experienced before in my life, and it left me stunned. So, what was this entity, folks? Was it a shadow person, perhaps? It really reminds me of the Hat Man from, Shadow People mythology. This entity didn't have a hat, but it had the same red glowing eyes, which is something we've seen with other encounters with the shadow people as well, folks. But in this time, it, for whatever reason, just stood and just looked at this man for a good few moments before rushing off, which is something a little odd, folks. Usually in these cases, the figures just rush off as quickly as possible. It's a rare account where basically Bigfoot, shadow people, or alien beings just stand there looking at you like this. But it does happen. Either way, let's wonder about that after we read through the next article, because it's yet another doozy. Bigfoot in Belle Plaine State Forest. Hikers encounter terrifying grunts, tree shaking, and crashing sounds in South Jersey swamp. Deep in New Jersey's Belle Plaine State Forest, two hikers were shaken by violent tree movements, guttural grunts, and thunderous crashes that echoed through the swamp. Could these unnerving sounds signal the presence of Bigfoot in a region more often associated with the Jersey Devil? Maybe it is, folks. And is there any real difference between the Jersey Devil and Bigfoot? I mean, the descriptions are often quite conflicting, but I would not be surprised if when people think they encounter the Jersey Devil, it's actually, the Sasquatch. Either way, let's continue. Dear Phantoms and Monsters, I discovered your site while searching for information on Bigfoot sightings in New Jersey, particularly in the southern part of the state. My friend and I witnessed an activity that may or may not have been attributed to Bigfoot. We were hiking in Belle Plaine State Forest on the East Creek Trail. We are members of a hiking club from outside Philadelphia and enjoy exploring new locations whenever we can. As we were returning to our car, parked about 1.5 miles north, it was late afternoon, around 6:30 p.m., and very warm. This section of the trail featured a boardwalk built over a swampy area densely covered with brush. We had just taken a brief break and commented on how quiet it was. But it wasn't going to remain that for much longer, was it? Let's continue with the witness's account and hear exactly what happened next. As we resumed our hike north, we both heard deep grunts coming from behind us. When we turned to look, we noticed a tree in the distance shaking violently. It was difficult to determine its size, but it was tall enough for us to see. A few seconds later, we heard a loud crash coming from the northwest. Meanwhile, the deep grunts grew louder, followed by more crashing sounds from the same direction. We started hiking along the trail at a brisk pace, despite having our gear on our backs, as we could hear the sounds continuing back and forth almost as if it were a competition. I won't lie, I was terribly scared. My friend was nearly frantic and created some distance between us. After several minutes, the noises subsided, but we were both still on edge until we finally reached the car. We discussed our experience during the drive home, and we both couldn't shake the thought of Bigfoot due to the tree shaking and the back and forth sounds. My friend has a possible Bigfoot sighting from her childhood while camping with her family in the Poconos, making her particularly wary and alert during our hikes together. At our hiking club meeting on Monday, we brought up our outing and what had happened. Most of the group agreed that it was likely a pair of or a group of Bigfoot. Several members shared their own odd encounters during previous hikes. While their stories were fascinating and incredible, I hadn't given them much thought or credibility until now. Have there been Bigfoot sightings in southern New Jersey? People often discuss the Jersey Devil and other strange occurrences in the area, but I haven't heard of Bigfoot being reported there. Thank you for reading. You can contact me at this email, PP. Well, did PP and her friend actually encounter Bigfoot, and the fact that her hiking group and her female friend have also had Bigfoot experiences in the past is very fascinating. But do you believe it or not, folks? I will give them, well, some credit, folks, that maybe they are telling the truth. But let's hold off on discussing that until after I finish the article by reading this note that came with it. I sent an email to the witness confirming that there have indeed been Bigfoot sightings and evidence in South New Jersey and other parts of the state. I referred her to the Beffaro website and several Bigfoot groups in the area. The witness mentioned that the swamp area was filled with white cider and oak and was dense with brush and dead trees, making it unlikely that a person caused some of the activity, because this is not an easy place to basically get through, folks. If indeed there was some person there, they'd have to be very strong, and maybe, well, they'd have to also basically be very good at making their way through this area without basically being seen. But whatever was making that sound, folks, was big and strong, knew the woods, and could easily frighten anyone. And, well, it did so because it was so well versed in that particular area. So what was this entity, folks? Was it perhaps the Jersey Devil, maybe a pale crawler, or was it indeed Bigfoot? It could also have been an alien being, perhaps, folks, ghosts, or maybe I'm wrong about all of this. This was all a hoax, some guy having fun with these two people out in the woods, but we can't be for sure at all. All we can do is just theorize on what this guy or entity was. Was it a person? Was it Bigfoot? Or something else entirely? It could have been a ghost. It is Halloween season, folks, so I have to bring that up as well. And like the first story, folks, with this black entity with the red glowing eyes, maybe it was a ghost as well. But we can't be for sure. But we could say that we just, and that is the truth, folks, do not understand exactly what these people saw. Some people out there will say it's all just bunk, but I don't really believe that all these people are just lying about, well, their encounters. Some of them, I do have to admit, are lying about this, folks, but not with all the accounts I've read through day in and day out. All these people, they can't be lying. So I do think that there is something out there in the woods, maybe even in our cities, folks, that, well, we do not understand, from these red-eyed black entities to other weird phenomena like Bigfoot, or even, I guess, Mothman, or even alien beings from space. There's something out there, folks, and this world is certainly far, far fascinating than anyone gives credit for. And people don't always lie about these particular weird stories. Either way, very interesting. But folks, we're now at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics That Are Bad For You. You can use the YouTube link down below in the description of the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.